Hey everybody, welcome back to the Champion Sons channel, here as we follow more along in the saga of Bubba Champion. Some of y'all may remember him being the starting quarterback of the Miami Dolphins and our face of the franchise series. But as we all know, if you watch the UFC series, his career didn't end out so well. So he joined the UFC wanting to continue to compete in a physical type of matchup, a sport. And he started out pretty well, earning some big wins early in his career, but everything catches up to you. And just like that, we started to see his career go downhill after a couple consecutive knockouts. One especially harsh one from Derek Lewis, the roundhouse spinning kick to the head. That one did a lot of damage. So what was he going to do, you may ask yourself? Well, like a lot of people, he had to go clear his mind after taking all them beatings. And so he went to the golf range. And while he was out there, he hit some bad shots. He hit some good shots. But he started realizing, he's been a competitor his whole life. He has that urge to compete, that drive to always try to prove he's the best. Now, granted, in his two previous sports that he chose, he definitely proved he was not the best. In his season with the Miami Dolphins before they cut him, he did throw 38 interceptions. But on top of that, he threw 56 touchdowns. So he set records going both ways, for touchdowns and for interceptions, the good and the bad. Bubba is the yin and the yang, is what I'm trying to get here. So he did. We can't say he did well, right? They cut him, obviously. So he decided to go to the UFC because he likes physical competition. That's what he was wanting to do. And he started out pretty well at about 4-5-0. And then as he had to change weight classes because he just couldn't keep up with the light heavyweights, he went up to heavyweight, and he ran into some of the better talent they have. And when these guys are 260 pounds, 240 pounds, and they hit you with the puncher, with the kick like that, it does damage to you. And so he ended up taking a lot more beatings, or a lot more damage. I guess I couldn't say beatings. He took some pretty bad beatings with the Miami Dolphins also. He got sacked, I think, like 79 times that season. So, hey, another record. I mean, he's setting records, right? And one crippled girl wanted him to set records in the NFL, and he did it. So he came through for it. But his body had just taken so much damage. And he started realizing that physical competition just wasn't really going to be able to happen for him anymore. But he still really wanted to compete. And that's where, a game like golf comes in perfectly for someone like him. He started going out to the ranges, hitting the balls well, learning how to curve his shots, put draw on it, put a fade on it. He started focusing on golf, not just as a relief for him and a mind clear, but something for him to strive at getting better at, to constantly be moving forward is where he was going with it. And so that's kind of when he made the decision, you know what, I think it's time to look at competing in golf. So what he did is he first started out in some city tournaments around the area. He started playing locally, going out on, generally Wednesdays, the heavy gambling day, going out on Wednesdays and trying to put his medal against those guys that are generally always pretty good. And he started winning. He started winning the local tournaments, competed in a couple statewide tournaments, and he knew he was doing well there. But, statewide and citywide, that's nice, but now if you really want to compete, you got to be up against national competition, right? So where was his next step to go? Where was he going to go from here? Well, where most people start at when they try to get into golf as a career, he had to go to Q school. Now, he spent his time at Q school and played decently. Wasn't all outstanding until we get to the final tournament, the Q school final. And I think it's like top 50 or something like that. Top 20 end up getting a tour card so they can play. Well, he won the tour card. He won that tournament, and he has set himself up to be on the Korn Ferry Tour starting the next season. And so that's where we are going to pick up on Bubba's career, his attempt to rise up the ranks of the PGA, all while his little brother is rising up the ranks of the NFL as a running back for the Chicago Bears. Okay, so Bubba's first stop is going to be at the Korn Ferry Tour opener, being played at TPC Deer Run. Now, this course is set up a little bit easier, but it's got a lot of water and it's got some heavy rough, so you have to be careful coming into this course. And so, as you can see, it is going to be 7,100 yards. It's a par 71 course. Everything is really set at normal right now, green speed medium. As we get higher up, past the Korn Ferry Tour into Korn Ferry Final Tour, I think is what it's called, and then the PGA, we're going to step up the difficulty in each one of those levels. But I think this is probably more or less pretty realistic in how it would go as far as what you are facing. So that's kind of how we decided to do this. So please stay tuned for the next episode where we will take on TPC Deer Run in the Korn Ferry Tour opener. Okay, everybody? So remember to like and subscribe for all of Bubba Champion, Seamus Champion, and Champ & Sons content. And I will see y'all in the next episode as we take on the PGA. So as always, everybody, stay safe, and later, y'all.